If you are still fishing beds right now, you are late. The spawn is over, the easy fish are gone, and if you don't make these simple adjustments, you are going to struggle. Howdy guys, and welcome back to Aquaholic Fishing. If you're new here, my name is Randy. Welcome to the channel. The post spawn is where most anglers are going to struggle, but if you know what the fish are doing, what they will bite, and where they are located, you'll still be able to catch some of the biggest fish of the year. These are my go-to post spawn baits, the top 5 that flat out produce. After the post spawn, bass are tired, especially the female bass. They slide off the beds and move to the first available structure. They are not guarding anymore. They are feeding to recover. Your job isn't to bed fish, your job is to intercept. Why is post spawn so exciting for some anglers? This is the time of year, especially in the south, where you can get out there and get back on that top water bite. Many post spawn bass are suspended and they will crush that top water bite, especially early in the morning and late in the evening time frame. I'm personally going to target any type of points where shallow water meets any kind of deeper water, some sort of a drop off where those females might be sitting down there lower. Remember, the male bass still might be up there guarding the fry. Until the bass are about 2 inches or so, a lot of times the male bass will hang around and guard the fry. These fry guarders are easy to pick up early and late with the top water lure. With that being said, my number 1 bait during the post spawn is going to be the top water popper. The Arashi cover pop and the Rebel Pop R popper are 2 of my absolute favorites, and the largemouth bass will crush these during early post spawn. I think it's the subtle movement, the subtle noise, and the inconsistent behavior of the top water popper that makes the bass think it might be a dying bait fish. The shad spawn is right around the corner. The top water popper, the Chopo, the Whopper Plopper, any of these types of baits are going to be extremely good during the post spawn when chasing that largemouth bass. If the bass are afraid of the noise and a little bit timid, go with the top water popper. If you want to go with the Chopo or the Whopper Plopper, I personally have had much success during the post spawn with the silent version of the Whopper Plopper. I think the noises, I think the subtleties of the silent Whopper Plopper is a lot better, or you don't have to just sit there and burn these things back to the bank or back to the boat. Retrieve them slow, pop them here and there, burn them a little bit occasionally, see what the bass like, and then make adjustments from there. Folks, remember when they drop off and they go a little bit deeper, you're going to catch them on those transitions. Whether it's going to be mud to rock, shell to gravel, gravel to grass, sun to shade, all of those transitions are great points for the bass to sit there and ambush, and you might be able to catch a giant one during the post spawn. He did. It's a nice one. He's not a giant, but he's a nice fish. Number 2 when chasing bass during that post spawn for me is going to be any type of soft plastic stick bait or the Weightless Fluke. All I'm going to do, guys, is pair these up with a number 1 or a 1/0. Right here is a weedless Nico hook, just in case we got a lot of growth going on in our ponds, lakes, rivers, and streams. If you have nice, clear, clean water, you don't need any type of weedless presentation. You can simply nose hook your fluke or wacky rig any soft plastic stick bait, and you're going to be just fine. I like to use the number 1 or the 1/0 variety if I don't have too much cover or structure in the area. I don't concentrate too much on colors during the post spawn. You can if you want to. I like green pumpkins, watermelon seed, and this Houdini right here from Zoom on this Zlinky. It's a really, really good bait. I like the Zoom Fluke or the Zoom Super Fluke in white ice or albino. I'm going to take a number 1 or a 1/0 hook, whether it's weedless or otherwise. I'm simply going to nose hook this beautiful fluke and throw it out there and make it look like a dying shad is all I'm going to do. As far as the slinky goes, or any type of stick bait that you might use in the post spawn, you can use this number 1 right here with the weed guard. I use a number 1 split shot drop shot hook or a 1/0 if I'm using that as far as Texas rigging goes. If I'm wacky rigging that bad boy, it's just going to be a split shot drop shot hook, number 1 or number 2, and let that bait do all the work for you. Whether it's the fluke or it's the stick bait, remember, these are kind of a cleanup bait. When nothing else is seeming to get bit, these will always do the trick. Let these baits fall naturally. Most of your bites during the post spawn are gonna happen on the fall. That's why you wanna go weightless every chance you possibly can. If you have to go with a weight, put it in the throat of the bait, put it into the belly of the bait, or hide it somewhere to where the bass cannot see it, but you get the fall rate that the bass desire. Always be a line watcher. You don't want a tight or a taut line. You want semi-slack line, and as soon as he picks that up, you're gonna feel it if you have a sensitive rod, or you will see that line starting to walk left or right, or towards you or away from you. At that point, get ready to set that hook. Remember, post-spawn bass do not want to chase far, but they will react. Let's say this is some structure right near the bed. They come off the bed, they go down a level, and they find this piece of structure. They're gonna sit up on that structure and they're gonna kind of hang around. They're lazy, they're tired, they're weak, and they want an easy meal. With that being said, my number 3 bait during the post spawn when chasing largemouth bass is going to be the dirty Jig Swim Jig. These baits are gonna imitate a sunfish, a bluegill, some sort of a shad, anything that's vulnerable sitting in the water column that the largemouth bass is likely going to scoop up as an easy meal. Whether it's the compact, the finesse, or just your regular dirty Jig Swim Jig. These are all a great opportunity when chasing that largemouth bass during the post-spawn time frame. Remember with these dirty Jig Swim Jigs, cast it out and keep that thing moving. A steady retrieve is good, some little pops, some little hops. If you can put it tight to cover or tight to structure, especially bumping that thing into a little cover and structure, as long as you can keep your hook points clean, it's going to be an incredible bait and will have you still catching big largemouth bass during this time frame. The number 4 top lure when chasing largemouth bass during the post-spawn time frame for me is going to be a crankbait. Not only a crankbait, but the shallow diver or the medium diving crankbait. To me, the Strike King Hybrid Hunter or the Hybrid Hunter Junior are the absolute perfect bait for during this time frame. As soon as the bass come off the bed and go on to a transition, they're usually not going really deep, maybe a couple of feet, maybe 3 feet. That's why these shallow divers or medium divers are gonna be perfect. They're gonna be right into that target zone where the bass are sitting at. It's gonna be an easy meal. Push it right up on the structure, push it right up on the cover. If you can bump this thing into anything and everything and make that erratic behavior go on, whiz that thing by the bass's head, you're likely going to get bit during the post-spawn. Folks, if you still have fry garters in your area or the bass has left the bed and now the bluegill are on those beds, zing these bad boys right across those beds. The fry garters will jump on them quick. The bluegill sometimes will jump on them as well, or the bass are returning the favor from the spawn. They're going after those bluegill eggs just like the bluegill went after the bass's eggs when they were spawning. Throw these things around any of those potholes, any of those areas, whether you can see the bluegill on them now, whether you can see the bass on them now, or you can't see anything at all. Run that Hybrid Hunter Junior or the Hybrid Hunter from Strike King. It's a really good bait. Folks, it's absolutely gorgeous outside. Everybody wants to get outdoors. What is that gonna do? Whether you're throwing a rod or you're not, the bass are gonna feel pressured, especially if they're up shallow. No matter what, they just got off spawn, they're in that post-spawn period, and they're wore out. Sometimes you're gonna have to slow it down and be a little subtle. And my number 5 choice with that reason is going to be the Trickorm or some sort of a floating worm. My favorite right now, folks, is the bruised banana Trickorm. This bait is absolutely incredible. Whether it's on the shaky head, wacky rigged, Texas rigged, it makes no difference whatsoever. If the water's stained up really bad, throw something with a little bit of chartreuse in there, little green pumpkin, little bit of orange. But at this time right now, that crazy bruised banana Trickorm is doing everything for me. I don't have to do any work whatsoever. I take that bad boy out of the package, cut the tail, cut the head, little bit of scissor action, give it another appendage, and the bass go absolutely crazy during the post-spawn. Post-spawn fishing can be a little weird at times. The bass haven't made up their mind. Do they want to chase? Do they want to sit? Do they want to return to the bed? They're in a transition period, just like many anglers are in a transition period from the couch to get outside and actually start fishing again. Here's one last little tip that I'll give you. Buzzbait. As soon as you see that dragonfly hatch take place and you see those beautiful little green and blue and purple and all those cool colors flying around getting in your face on the bank, throw that buzzbait out there with a light trailer, run that thing early and late, buzz it through there, change your speeds, change your retrieve speeds on that beauty, and watch the bass go absolutely wild. Especially if you have fry garters out there, or if you have bass chasing the bluegill on their beds or going after their eggs to return the favor from the bass spawn, I think you guys will get bit. I hope you enjoyed these top 5 post-spawn lures. I hope you learned something. I hope you're at least 1% smarter. If you are, hit the like, throw a comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one.